Hey everybody, welcome to the MGF Podcast. This is episode 3 of the show with a temporary name where we talk Lego, movies, and whatever else. My name is Ross, and joining me is Tait.
What's up, guys? I'm having a good day. I hope you guys are too.
Hell yeah. So, episode 3 already. We've got some stuff to cover, but first off, the current state of the podcast. Last week was an improvement with audio. Now, I think we're kind of hoping to stay the course and just hope that things are, progressively get better, because last week we had less issues with audio cutouts once I hooked up an Ethernet cable finally to my laptop. And so it seemed mostly salvageable. So I think we're just going to stay the course this week and then maybe try something else next week. But yeah, and in the way of figuring out a better, more clever name for the podcast, still radio silence on that front, but this works for now, and I appreciate you guys joining in. So, to get started, we've got Yoshi's Crafted World. I have no idea what that is. Tait, go.
Alright, so essentially we're going to start off with some gaming news today. It's been a little bit light on gaming news, but that's to be expected. It is March. That's not a big month for gaming. But yeah, so Yoshi's Crafted World just came out. It's getting okay reviews. It's gonna be an okay game. I mean, what are you gonna expect from, a Yoshi or a Kirby or that kind of stuff? Nintendo kind of pulls the backseat on those, but yeah, very much of a March release, and yeah, so it's averaging about an 8 out of 10, which is really good for a game like this. I will probably be picking it up in the next couple weeks, along with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. So stay tuned for information regarding those games, in terms of my opinion. Anyway. Now we have the Capital Supremacy game mode in Battlefront 2. Ross, this is all you.
Yeah, man. So DICE just implemented Capital Supremacy into Battlefront 2. Obviously, over the last 6 months, they've been really great finally about leveling off the game by adding all the new Clone Wars content and finally really completing the game. After they fixed the progression system. So obviously now we've had General Grievous, Count Dooku, Obi-Wan, and actually it wasn't in that order. It was Grievous, Obi-Wan, Dooku, or no, I'm sorry, it was Grievous, Obi-Wan, Geonosis, Dooku, Anakin was how they released everything. And now we're really going full steam ahead on them finally adding everything to the game that I think all of us initially expected back in 2017. But now the game is in full swing, and they added Capital Supremacy, a new mode where, kind of similar to the original Battlefront 2, you can board enemy cruisers. And so basically right now they only have Geonosis available, and it is super exciting because it's a brand new map that I personally think is better than the main Geonosis map for Galactic Assault. I haven't played a ton of Capital Supremacy quite yet, and if I'm being totally honest, it is still a little bit confusing as to how it works, even after having played it. And I mean, like, the order in which things play out. So basically, you're dropped onto this tighter, smaller, more compact Geonosis map with still a large, playing field, and you get to hop in with new clone and droid AI. That kind of populate the map a little bit more, which is really cool. They're kind of useless. They literally just shoot at the walls, and it's pretty funny. But they're there to make it feel a little bit more alive. So I appreciate that. But you're capturing command posts that look just like the original Battlefront 2's command posts. And the whole time you've got Geonosians flying up above. You've got giant separatist dreadnoughts and Venator class Star Destroyers that just look phenomenal overhead. I mean, just so freaking stunning. And the first team to capture the command posts boards the enemy cruiser. So if you're the Republic, so like say you're the droids actually, and then you capture all the command posts, then you board the Venator, and they've got the full interior of the Venator all designed, like a good portion of it. You go for these 2 weak spots where you plant a couple charges and defend them until they go off. And then if you succeed, then you get sent back down to the battlefield where the losing team, who has now lost their cruiser, has the opportunity to launch a counterattack. And if they capture the command post, then they get to board your cruiser. So if then the clones capture the command post in this case, then they could board the separatist dreadnought that looks just like the Invisible Hand from Revenge of the Sith, and do the same, plant charges, get off. And it is a really great, fantastic play mode, game mode. I think I enjoy playing that more than like I said, Galactic Assault on Geonosis. And yeah, I mean, it's really cool too, because before you actually get to go on board those cruisers, you actually have to board either, if you're winning and you got all the command posts as the Republic, you have to board a Republic gunship. And you get 40 seconds to get over there and hold X. And if you're on the CIS, you have 40 seconds to get over and board the Separatist dropships, or the droid dropship, the droid gunships. I'm sorry. And it's really great, man. It's so cool. I mean, there is a cutscene that transitions you from the ground to the cruisers, so it's not like you get to actually fly in there and land yourself. But it's so awesome because obviously this is also the mode that has introduced droid commandos, awesome, which are so fun to play as, man. I mean, the best droids in the game, hands down, equipped with their vibro blades. I mean, they've got smoke bombs and wall hacks for one of their abilities too. The blaster's super effective, and they're really great. And ARC Troopers too. Not overly fond of the ARC Trooper helmet design they went with, but it's the first character in Battlefront 2 that actually adds dual wielding, much like Captain Rex. So dual wielding DC-17s. And they're really great. They have a whole bunch of different abilities too. Personally, I like playing as the droid commandos a little bit more because their blaster has a little bit more range, and the vibro blade is super effective close quarters, especially against heroes. And they're awesome, and I was not expecting them to ever be added to the game, honestly. I mean, everything that they're adding now, I feel like now, like after Anakin, is just all like extra content that I'm just really happy we're getting, period. But I'm telling you, Tate, as a Clone Wars fan, this has just been a dream to be playing through Geonosis and to see Venator-class Star Destroyers and Imperial Dreadnoughts in the skies while in the Cry engine, where you can, and you have all these different clones running around wearing different skins. It's like, just so many throwbacks to the Clone Wars days with custom clone making. And I mean, it is a dream come true in a game that I never thought would actually get this far following all the controversy. And so it's just, it's exciting stuff, man. Yeah, but we can't play together because I have it on Xbox, and I think, Tate, you have it on PS4.
I have it on PC.
PC, yeah. So
yeah, I mean, this game mode looks pretty incredible. What they're doing here is overall going to probably be really good for the overall community. The Cry engine, as well, might I add, is an incredible engine.
Yeah.
Looking at just screenshots of the game, looks really good. The only thing that kind of holds me back is the progression system. I'm not a huge fan of the progression system. I don't have that many hours in this game. I think I have 2. But yeah. Anyway, moving on, we have Minecraft. So this is something that hits a personal note with both of us. I play a lot of Minecraft. But yeah, there's a new update coming out soon. It is the Village and Pillage update 1.14. And that should be adding, well, not should be, but that is adding lots of great stuff to the game. So yeah, we have these guys on here. These are pillagers. They raid villages, adding a bunch of good stuff. We are hopefully going to get this update within the first couple months. And yeah, that's Minecraft.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I dropped off Minecraft, I would say, like I told you, like 2014, 15, and haven't played consistently since. I mean, I hopped on last year to I booted up a survival world to get started on. I was just like, wow, this is so time consuming. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, yeah. Minecraft takes a lot, but it's fun if you have the time to put in.
Yeah, man. I mean, I might hop in just to see what they've done to the villagers, because the villagers were such an exciting part of the game, especially survival for me. Always trying to find a seed online that spawned you right next to a village, so you got a head start on your world, and you weren't totally alone because the village they were just such a great addition. They always have been.
Absolutely, yeah. And then I have a Minecraft realm, so if anybody in chat wants to play some Minecraft, hit me up in the DMs.
Oh man.
Anyway, moving on. We have Kazam. I'm sorry, did I say Kazam?
Kazam!
I'm sorry, I think that's the wrong...
Kazam, ladies and gentlemen!
I think that's the wrong image there. I mean Shazam. So Shazam is really, really good. Really good acclaim right now. Very high acclaim, very good reviews so far. That's awesome. I mean, shoot, that is awesome that this movie is getting really good feedback.
Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to go see one of the early screenings on, I think it was, I don't even remember, honestly. It was like the 25th, maybe. Um, it was a while. It was like, yeah, it was like a week ago when they were doing the early screenings. And I was about to go, and I just saw the good seats were filled up, so I just didn't bother. And I'm looking forward to it, though, man. And, Tate, we were just talking about this a little bit ago. Is like, I'm excited for it. I know it's going to be great. It's going to probably be the perfect Shazam movie, minus Black Adam. But it's like, listen, man. I'm excited for it. I'm going to watch it just like I did Aquaman. I'm sure thoroughly enjoying every moment of it. But now, following Ben's departure and Henry Cavill's, probably about to leave, it's like I can't help but shake the feeling that you're watching a movie taking place in a failed cinematic universe with no crossover potential to be had anymore.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not as much of a cinematic universe guy as you are.
Yeah, I know you're not.
I really like movies that stand on their own without any other context. Like, I love franchises. I love watching all 3 Lord of the Rings movies and just going, oh my god, this is masterclass. But a good solo movie, a good individual movie, is the best gift you can receive, I think.
I agree, and that's what makes Aquaman, for me, I think that's such a huge plus for a movie like Aquaman, whereas it's like, it absolutely is a perfect standalone Aquaman movie and doesn't even have to exist in the universe. I mean, they only reference it literally once. And so it's like, to me, that's such a huge plus if they can do that while still having it exist in a cinematic universe. And Aquaman was a prime example of that.
For sure.
And I feel like, now Shazam can't be, because the potential isn't there anymore like it was just a couple months ago before it was officially called that Ben was out.
Yeah, it's such a hard situation, especially when you're looking at the roadmap, because they want a cinematic universe because cinematic universes make money, obviously. But like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, for example, and the upcoming Batman movie, I just hope that those are really good solo movies. Because if they are, like I said, best gift you can receive as a cinema fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to talk about the episode 9 poster?
Dude, the episode 9 poster. So,
oh my god.
This has been a little bit nuts because a lot of people, it's been a kind of a 50-50 split of the spectrum of, is it real? Is it fake? And it's like, listen, man, this looks pretty damn real, because we've had posters like these for the merchandise releases before we got the final posters for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Posters like these that kind of look a little bit, they lean a little more closer to the, obvious Photoshop / like concept art side. We've had these before. We got posters just like this for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi before the final posters ever came out. And so why this is like so foreign to so many people is kind of, amazing. But no, man, I think this is absolutely real. I don't think it's the final poster by any stretch. This is just a promotional material. Like, this is just like promotional material that is designed for like, just buying like, $3 versions of these at Walmart and right. On the poster rack, or like, this is not, I don't think there's really any evidence here to suggest this is fake. And so just taking it as it is and, pretending like it is real, because I still firmly believe that it is real. Listen, man, following The Last Jedi, I can't say I was jumping up and down looking at this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when we got it's just not the same, When the posters came out for The Force Awakens and Rogue One, it was just incredible. But, man, The Last Jedi was also really great and great with the red accents and the heavy focus and heavy emphasis on the color of red. But here, man, I'm liking it. I just can't say I care, because it's like, listen, you've got the Knights of Ren on here. You've got new side characters in the background. You've got Uncharted Poe Dameron. I mean, you got Finn with a new hairstyle. Looks like a new jacket too. Great. Yes. I mean, the new red First Order Stormtroopers look fine. It's just like, look, man, I'll be at the episode 9 panel to support them. I'll be there opening day. But it's like, my expectations have plummeted.
Yeah, so my take is like with just the entire sequel trilogy as a whole, there's a term in cinema called Chekhov's gun, and it's essentially you introduce something, you finish it. You introduce something, there's a start, there's an introduction, and then there's payoff. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So a good example of this in, let's say, The Dark Knight is the sonar scene when he's talking about how he hacked 30 million people and he's using their phones for sonar, and then he utilizes the sonar during the final fight. Right?
Right.
Now, episode 7 introduced the whole, during the dream sequence, the Knights of Ren and Rey's backstory and all of these things. But they never acted upon it. Now, Chekhov's gun should be one movie. But in this day and age, one movie has turned into 3. We have stories and plot lines that are put over the course of 3, 4, 5, however many movies.
Yeah, and
my issue,
I think
an issue that I hold really heavily is that we've saved the Knights of Ren to this movie. You know what I mean? As opposed to slowly introducing them. You're like, okay, here's the introduction. It's these 5 guys that look like fallen Jedi. But then all of a sudden, we haven't seen them until now, and now they're on the poster, and now they're important all of a sudden. It's just very annoying from a cinema standpoint, from somebody who enjoys the inner workings of cinema and even, you know, script writing and all of that kind of stuff. It's just really annoying to see these kind of things abused in modern movies.
And yeah, and I think a big part of that is like, you know, what even J.J. Abrams can't fix this in one movie. We know that.
Right.
You know, and so it's like, here we are now at the final movie, and we still barely know anything about Rey. She was so underdeveloped in The Last Jedi that it was alarming. You know, we still barely know anything about Finn, whether he's an expert marksman or expert, you know, combatant, or if he's a janitor. You know, Poe Dameron is probably the most, like, Poe Dameron and Kylo Ren are probably the most developed out of any of the new characters in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, Finn bugs me so much. The fact that, like, the comic books, they had the whole plot line where he was an elite soldier, and then him being on the planet at the beginning of the movie, and he could kill somebody despite being trained to be like a swordsman using the electro staff his entire life, and then all of a sudden, you know, at the end of the movie saying, "Oh, I was a janitor." It just, his character doesn't make sense.
And they didn't expand on his character in The Last Jedi either.
No.
And so it's like, and so that's why this poster doesn't excite me, because I see all this, I feel like I'm looking at empty potential. You cannot fully develop Rey. You cannot fully develop Finn. You cannot introduce and fully develop the Knights of Ren. You cannot conclude the entire Star Wars saga. You cannot develop and establish the time period all in one movie.
Right. They set themselves up for failure by putting all of these loose ends throughout episodes 7 and 8. They put so many loose ends, so many things undiscovered, so many things untouched, and now we're at the last movie saying, oh my god, this is going to be a crap fest where they just throw a bunch of information at us and it's going to be completely disjointed. Russ, real quick, have you seen Crimes of Grindelwald?
No, because I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
Right. Anyway, so to those who have seen Crimes of Grindelwald, you know that movie had way too much stuff going on. The entire movie was a first act, and then there was a conclusion, as opposed to slowly kind of rising up to the first kind of fight with Grindelwald, and then slowly declining, you know, have the tragedy strike, and spiking back up to the climax. No, it was a bunch of exposition that didn't matter. And I feel like episode 9 is going to be a bunch of exposition that doesn't matter, because of the fact that they're not giving them any time to develop these characters. I mean, honestly, we need 3 more movies. We need 3 more movies.
Listen, man, I think, like the trilogy format is not working for the sequel trilogy, unfortunately, because of how much time was wasted in The Last Jedi. I mean, there was so much time wasted with the, you know, the incoherent plot, with Rose, with Holdo. I mean,
even,
you know,
the whole Luke training stuff had no payoff because Rey didn't grow at all.
Right, and so it's like that again. That's why, you know, I look at this and I'm excited. You know, listen, man, there is something to be said that we're still getting new Star Wars movies, right? You know, it's like this wasn't even a possibility. So I am grateful that this is happening. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'll be there, but my expectations won't.
Yeah.
And hey man, I don't expect this to be a satisfying payoff to the Skywalker saga. But I hope that they're able to make something. I hope JJ was able to do something decent with this. A couple of other things to note on the poster was that Lando's absent from this promo poster. He's not there.
Yeah.
And then 3PO has taken up arms.
It's that droid body. It's the battle droid body from episode 2 manifesting inside of him.
Right, the battle droid from Attack of the Clones has taken over once more. Chewie has taken up arms. He's taking Chewie's bowcaster. I'm sorry, 3PO's taken up arms, taking Chewie's bowcaster, and he's had enough with the Skywalkers. He's going to wipe them out. He's had enough of their crap, raining terror across the galaxy for decades. 3PO's had it, man.
Do you know that bowcaster has like that 5-shot thing if you charge it up? In like Battlefront. You know how the bowcaster can shoot 5 bolts if you charge it up in Battlefront?
Yeah.
Imagine him just doing that and he takes off every main character's head at the end of the movie. Like the climax is just Kylo Ren, Rey, Finn, Poe, and whoever else. You know, the 5th person, and he just kills all of them in one go, and he's like, you know what? We messed up. Here's just C-3PO killing everybody to apologize.
And and then also at the bottom of the poster, you have these new red First Order stormtroopers, and a lot of people are like, they look like clones because they've kind of adopted a similar visor for them, where you have the black running down the middle.
Right.
You have the mouth cutting off pretty early on, so it doesn't wrap all the way up to the top of the helmet like the rest of them. Up to the eye lenses anyway.
Right.
And so I get the connection. I can see why people say that, but it's like.
But Ross,
personally, I don't really think it mirrors the clones. I don't think that's intentional. Probably isn't. I mean, what does bother me is that they don't really seem like they're going to be too interesting or too different from regular First Order stormtroopers. Other than they're just red and their helmet design on the front is slightly different, and so more toys to sell, right?
Yeah, Ross. When you look at it though, zoom into the picture, it looks like the ones behind the main one have normal First Order stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah,
no,
so I mean, I don't even know what's going on. Honestly, their chest plates look really weird.
That could be Phasma in front. We don't know because of the different visor than the rest of them. Because the rest of them just have normal First Order helmets, at least so it looks. But the poster's really grainy, so
right.
There's not much to go off of there. But who knows? That could be Phasma in the front.
But yeah, man. I mean, personally, I doubt it. But ultimately, I think this poster is absolutely real. We've had promo posters like this, again, for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. These are the ones that they put out for Force Friday before you ever actually see the final poster. I mean, the Photoshop and art style is very similar to the promo posters we had for the previous 2 films. So to say that this is fake, I think,
I think that's ignorant to say it's fake.
Yeah. And so I think it's real. It's not the final poster. It's just, Photoshop done for... It's just a marketing poster. That's all it is. You're going to see this in stores. It's not going to be used for anything in theaters or the main marketing campaign. But yeah, so I mean, other than that, like I said, I'll be there at the panel if I can, and I'll be there on day 1 to support them. But my expectations are very low. Yeah, and it's not to say I hate The Last Jedi. I just, I have a lot of huge problems with it. That, like I said, I've lowered my expectations for episode 9 because I think the movie did unfortunately create a huge narrative hole that I don't even think JJ can dig them out of in one movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, in episode here's the thing as well, like Chekhov's gun, like I was saying earlier, a lot of things were introduced in episode 7, so it's not just episode 8 that was the issue. It was all of the things that they introduced in episode 7 that episode 8 didn't touch on.
Right.
Episode 8 felt like very much a placeholder, but it didn't feel like anything changed in the universe besides Luke Skywalker dying for no reason. So,
yeah, that was a very bizarre scene, especially considering that only the First Order were, the ones to witness what he did.
I mean, dude, he died like his mom. He died like his mom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Star Wars because I'm going to start yelling.
Yeah, we'll talk about Star Wars closer to Celebration. We're going to do a whole Star Wars podcast, and Yeah,
Yes.
it'll be great. But
yeah, before we move on, I do want to say, just like I talked about Aliens last week, I'd rather Star Wars have died after the prequel trilogy, and then just continue with TV shows and books and stuff. I don't think we needed any more films, and I think that I'm kind of secure in my thought process after episode 8. But anyway, moving on, we have the Avengers International poster. This looks like Greek. I don't know what language this is. I'm sorry.
yeah, neither do
Sorry
I.
if you know what this language is, and I'm sorry if I'm being offensive. But oh my God, look at Natasha. Look at her. She's taking the front line.
Yeah, man. Now that is only there were 2 international posters released, so that's the first one. I think I sent you the other one that actually has like is a bit more of a light show, and it actually has the Dusted Avengers on it.
Yeah, I do have both. This one's in
Yeah.
Mandarin. I do recognize this language.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have both of them pulled up here.
So who knows? I mean, that Natasha being in the front could be indicative of anything. And she was kind of in front for the Infinity War poster. I don't personally think it really means anything.
Right.
But I mean, Kevin Feige pretty much said last year that the Dusted Avengers would not be included in the marketing for Endgame, and I don't think, I don't think markets elsewhere in the world seem to care. Because we've got them all in brand new silhouettes up front and being led by Nick Fury. So I think that's really cool. And a lot of those are all very clearly new images too. A few of them are reused, like Vision is a reused PNG, but for the most part, those are all new silhouettes that they used. I think that's great, man. I honestly think that that's the perfect way to use them in the poster. Instead of excluding them entirely, they are at least there, kind of in spirit, quote unquote. This is also the first poster that has Thanos like taking a direct, front and center on-looking role instead of just being off to the side looking sad. And I absolutely love the electricity and the lightning from Stormbreaker, kind of almost creating sort of like lens flares all throughout the poster there, especially like on Cap's shield. I mean, you get really good looks at Valkyrie for the first time.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting.
I wonder.
I mean, I think that if this poster was just a little bit more colorful and less grainy, it would be better than the main poster.
You know what? I could see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the way this looks. Man, can we just talk about how nuts Endgame is going to be? I mean, the characters that are confirmed, the Ancient One is confirmed to be in the movie.
This might delve into spoilers. So.
Oh, well, I mean, casting calls, are they really spoilers? Because we don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, personally, I don't care, but I know there are people who do.
So we're not going to touch on that. So sorry about that in case that was a spoiler, but there's a lot of weird characters confirmed.
Yeah, and listen, man, we have only got 26 days left until Endgame. I've kind of made peace with the fact that I'm not going to have a showcase or really possibly any showcase for launch. But, I mean, first of all, it's just so surreal that we're only 26 days away from Endgame. I feel like Infinity War was only 3 months ago. I don't know what the hell just happened, man, but apparently it's been a year, Tate. Doesn't help.
I think Infinity War came out 3 years ago for me. I always forget it came out last year.
Yeah, but no, I love this poster. This is exactly what this is the type of poster that really, jives with me instead of the main one. Personally, I think the main Endgame poster isn't as good as the Infinity War poster. I think it's fine and does the job.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, with the the additional light show going on, Thanos being a bit more present. And the Dusted Avengers still being there. I think this is fantastic, and like I said, would be better than the main poster if it was just if the resolution was better and if it had a bit more color.
For sure.
And a little less emphasis on blue, kind of desaturating every one of the character PNGs. But yeah, man. Other than that, we also did have all those new character posters that came out.
Yeah. I don't have pictures of those. I'm gonna look for them right now.
Yeah. So basically, while you do that, I'll bring it up, explain it. So Marvel released posters, character images, really high resolution character images for every Avengers. So the surviving Avengers, which were obviously full color, and then you had the dusted Avengers, those that did not survive the decimation. And I love those character posters, man. I think they're perfect. I mean, a lot of really great new looks at them in full high def glory. I mean, it was just really awesome to look at. Obviously, these are all new pictures as well. And also, it was revealed with the dusted Avenger side, the grayscale ones, that Shuri was, in fact, among those who didn't make it.
Yeah.
And that has kind of been up in the air for ever since Infinity War came out. I think everybody just kind of assumed Shuri survived, and I think there were some statements made by Feige and maybe a couple other things that came up since Infinity War that kind of led everybody to believe that Shuri had survived. I mean, there was even fan art of like her having survived and like hearing, like tearing up after T'Challa had been dusted. I saw some fan art that kind of illustrated that, which I thought was really cool. But now has officially been shot down because she was also dusted off screen. And man,
Really?
I mean, the last time we saw her, I think she like got hit by Corvus Glaive and probably just like was just getting up and then got dusted. It was like, well, there goes one of the world's greatest super geniuses.
Right. If you look at the poster, though, you'll notice some kind of oddities here. Included on the Dusted Avengers side, you have Gamora as well as Vision, who, of course, were not dusted. They were just murdered outright. As well as on the Alive Avengers side, you have Happy Hogan and Pepper Potts listed alongside everybody else.
Yeah.
Now, there is a theory going around because of the fact that Pepper Potts wears a suit, an Iron Man suit called the Rescuer. Is it called the Rescuer? I think it's called the Rescuer.
The Rescue. Suit. Just Rescue.
Oh, just the Rescue suit? Anyway, you see that whole Iron Man helmet, the HUD kind of glowing and all that kind of stuff. So maybe he's contacting her. Maybe she's going to get the Rescue suit. Maybe something like that's going to happen. We also see Happy Hogan in that Stark Jet Lego set. So maybe he's going to be flying around helping the Avengers. Who knows?
I don't know about that. But
that would be awesome, dude. Are you kidding me? Jon Favreau started the MCU. All right, dude. If he doesn't get a hoorah moment in this movie, I'm going to be so sad.
I'm glad they gave him a poster, though. He deserves it, man.
Well, like I said, he started it all.
And man, I just love these are just such great images, like Tom Holland looking down and, each poster just gives off the perfect vibe for how each character must feel.
Absolutely.
Each one generates the perfect emotion for each poster. It's like, maybe I'm reading too far into it, but I just feel like every pose, every look, every position that these characters take in each poster is just great. I mean, and yeah, man, some people have been saying that, some people have been theorizing that the ones who are who are facing left, like all the dusted Avengers who are all facing to the left, that maybe all the ones who are facing left on the alive side, all the characters that are alive could be the ones who die.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think they would have done that because that's a little too easy to figure out, just kind of ruin it.
Yeah.
But entertaining the idea that is the case and entertaining the idea that that's what that person pointed out, that would mean of all the surviving Avengers, only Hulk, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, Okoye, and they would literally be the only three that would be alive after Endgame.
Happy because he is in Far From Home.
Yeah, and Happy. But it's like, I don't think that's going to happen, man. Because, that's just a kind of a wild theory that I saw in passing that I thought was kind of interesting, though. But then I actually looked and I'm like, there's no way that they're going to kill that many of them off.
Well, they might. I mean, besides the Black Widow solo movie, which could always be a prequel.
If they do, that is ballsy.
That's badass.
I mean, and very and to kill, because if that theory is true, man, they would be killing off Tony, Cap, Black Widow, Thor, Hawkeye, Nebula, who is definitely going to die anyway, War Machine, Pepper, Rocket, Valkyrie, even Wong. I mean, You got to be kidding me. Listen. I think Valkyrie is absolutely going to be fine. There are characters in there who I think are just going to be fine. Period. And Valkyrie being one of them. So, and I don't think there's any reason for Wong to die. You kind of need him for Doctor Strange too. So it's I think it's a cool theory, but
maybe
anyway.
These characters, because the dusted people are looking left, and because of the fact that time definitely is going to be played with, some of the characters that are looking left here, perhaps they're the ones who die early in the movie because of whatever reasons, and then they get reversed as well.
There's also this theory floating around that Tony might die earlier on in the movie, and you and I were just talking about this before the show. It's
that's not.
I don't think that would work because Tony is the MCU.
Yeah,
he is the lead and always has been, and he's always been the lead of the MCU and the one most directly linked to Thanos. And so for him to not be involved in dealing the final blow, I think would be a crime. If we get to the end of Endgame and Tony isn't there to fight off Thanos with them one last time, that would be a freaking crime.
Yeah.
For me, the defeat of Endgame and all of that has to go one of two ways. Tony has to be there, or they have to all do it together. Either Tony has to, Tony and Cap have to deal the final blow, or just Tony, or they all have to do it together. But you cannot do it without Tony. He has to be there for the ending of Endgame and his potential sacrifice. So I really don't subscribe to that theory because honestly, something like that may ruin the movie for me because of how firmly and how wholeheartedly I believe that Tony needs to be there to wrap up the Infinity Saga. I mean, so that theory doesn't make sense to me, but I think was worth bringing up anyway. And yeah, man, we've only got 26 days left now. I just got the Hulk Big Fig in to get started on Thanos, and we now finally have a lot of reference, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, man, it's exciting stuff.
That's a lot. But anyway, moving on, we have... Oh, wait. My stuff is all out of order. We have Dora. What a change of pace. The Dora trailer just came out a few days ago. Why?
Dude, I forgot live action Dora was happening, but oh man, I just watched the trailer for the first time 20 minutes ago, and I've got to say, hey, it's a good cast. It's a good casting pick.
It's an amazing
got Michael
cast.
Pena in here as the parent, as the dad. It looks fine.
And everybody starts spamming hashtag not my Diego in chat, because that's what I'm...
Yeah, but then the kid they cast for Diego, I'm just hashtag not my Diego is right. Who is that kid? The freaking buzz cut? And no, that's not Diego. Get him off. Get the screen, bud.
Get that trending on Twitter. Hashtag not
Oh, man. Yeah. I think we would all be lying if we did not say that Dora played some part in our childhood. I mean... For me, she was always on, and I mean, oh my God. Never forget. Dora taught me so much and also nothing.
Hola, soy Dora. Yo puedo hablar español, pero...
I'll tell you what, dude. I was not expecting Michael Pena and Tamira Morrison to be in the movie. For those of you guys who don't know, Michael Pena is the side character. He's Luis in Ant-Man, and he's also... I forgot what else he's in. But Tamira Morrison, obviously Jango Fett and the clones from the prequels, who is an amazing guy from New Zealand. And I'm really excited to see him again in a couple weeks at Celebration. He's in it as the main bad guy. I wasn't expecting those two. So, I mean, I won't be there to see this, but I'm excited for all the kids who will be. It looks like a fun time. Kind of gives some Jumanji vibes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm a cinema fan, and I'm not looking forward to this movie being an amazing movie or anything. It's not going to be a cinematic masterpiece because it doesn't have to be. It's going to be a fun movie for kids to watch. There's a big actor who plays Swiper. I don't remember who it is, but it's weird.
Isn't it? Oh, it's Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's Benicio del Toro as
Why did I remember that?
I don't know, but that's just so weird. What the
Oh
heck?
man, I love how Benicio del Toro is just being wasted on so much stuff recently. Like DJ in Last Jedi, what the hell was that?
Dude, no,
And then it's
Benicio
like
del
now he's
Toro.
Swiper in Dora. What is going on with Benicio del Toro?
No, so like
Oh man,
that actor, he's awesome because kind of going throughout movies as as his career went forward, he played like side characters mostly, and then all of a sudden he started playing like D slide characters with the Collector and DJ, and it's just weird. It's just, what is he doing? He's such a good actor. It's just so weird to see him in all the stuff he's been in.
I'll never forget when I heard that he was cast for The Last Jedi. I was thinking he was going to play like a Grand Admiral Thrawn type role, a guy who takes command of a First Order fleet and is just unstoppable. One of the most menacing Imperial officers, First Order officers that Snoke has at his disposal. Nope. Instead, he was wasted.
He was
But
Benicio
hey,
del Toro playing Benicio del Toro.
at least now with a stutter. At least now he's Swiper. So Swiper, no swiping, ladies and gentlemen.
Venom Lego Maker Custom, we're not talking about Sonic live action. No, I refuse. Anyway, Us. You just saw that one
Yep.
last weekend. What'd you think?
Listen, man, I am not a horror fan. It's not because, like I get scared watching horror movies or I can't take it or whatever. I honestly just find horror and the entire genre to just not be my thing. I just don't care. I never really have. The stories never really jive with me. But when I saw the trailer for Jordan Peele's Us, I was like, yo, major Star Wars, Marvel, Halo, sci-fi fan. I saw doppelgangers, and I'm just like, whoa, this is a horror movie maybe dealing with like parallel dimensions or something, like people coming through. That's a sci-fi element that's going to get my butt in a chair, and especially Lupita Nyong'o as the lead with Winston Duke, who is, of course, M'Baku from the MCU. I was like, yeah, I'll go check this one out. And man, I kind of regret doing so. I know a lot of people are really enjoying it, some even watching it multiple times. But for me, it was kind of a reminder of why I don't really care for horror. And I really appreciate a lot of the symbolism and deeper meaning that went into the movie. I definitely picked up on a lot of it, and I understand, how deliberate all of it was on Jordan Peele's part, and I appreciate all that stuff. But it's just the actual story itself really falls apart. So you expect it. It just doesn't make sense. Basically, once you get to the end and they start delving deeper into the doppelgangers and what's going on, you ask just one or two questions and it really does start to come apart at the seams, and inevitably, and by the end of it, for me, the story just collapsed and I just wasn't into it. A lot of the reveals didn't feel earned or make sense. Immersion throughout the experience was broken quite a few times. Whether it was from like one of the characters' performances or like characters not taking things too seriously or not even necessarily having natural emotional reactions to the trauma they were being exposed to. It just for me, I went in hoping to be immersed in a thriller experience, and I didn't get that. I don't think I was scared once. I wasn't frightened by the movie once, like throughout the whole movie. Sure, it's eerie and it's creepy, and the music certainly does its job. The music is definitely impressive, and adds a lot to the movie. But it's like, ultimately for me, story is so important, and the story, like I said, falls apart in the. And by the time they get to the end and they try to throw this, this curveball at you, you then look back at the movie in hindsight and you're just like, no, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't feel earned. There wasn't enough to set that up. And, so I enjoyed it. But man, I would have rather spent those 2 hours painting Captain Marvel and then maybe rent this movie and have it on in the background like over the summer.
Yeah.
Because, if anything, it kind of left me wanting to go finally watch, what's the last movie Jordan Peele did that was a massive hit? It was, the name is escaping me.
The Get Out one?
Get Out, yeah.
If
anything, it made me want to go check out Get Out. It's like, this movie didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I think is consistent throughout the whole experience is Lupita Nyong'o's performance.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's an incredible actress.
Oh my God. Like I said, the story really isn't there, but wow. I mean, her performance in literally everything that she does is astounding.
I do have to
So,
ask, did Winston Duke ever do the M'Baku bark?
actually,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's yeah,
Are you serious?
yeah.
What?
I mean, it kind of delves, it kind of goes into a little bit of spoiler territory, but yeah, he kind of does.
That is awesome.
Yeah, he does do it a couple times.
That's awesome.
Um,
All right, well, moving on, we have Zack Snyder. The Zack Snyder, I guess, well, it's not controversy, but apparently we only saw about 40% of Zack Snyder's vision for Justice League and for just the general DCEU. Ross, would you
yeah.
like to delve into that?
So I only read through the article once, but essentially Zack Snyder was at an event where he finally spilled the beans on what he was planning to do with Justice League, how the DCU was originally meant to play out. And, he revealed, there was a whole plan that I think even Kevin Smith revealed that Zack Snyder had, in motion for when the Justice League would actually go to Apocalypse and when, they would get involved, when Darkseid would appear and when the Green Lantern Corps would get involved. And all of that sounded really awesome too. But then all of this was really new when he detailed how him and Chris Terrio wanted to go a completely different direction with Justice League than what we ultimately got, but how Warner Brothers shot them down after BVS had a lot of criticism toward it. And I think that's a shame because what Zack Snyder was doing, while it sounded convoluted to an extent, if he had worked out the story a little bit more, I think could have been really cool. Because instead of just doing the standard black and white, simplistic Justice League that we got, where they just, they meet up for the first time and they reluctantly work together and they fight a big bad CGI villain who you don't care. Zack Snyder, they were planning on going all in on the nightmare sequence from Batman vs. Superman. We were going to travel to the future where the forces of Apocalypse with Darkseid have seized control of Earth and the surviving Justice League members are working to, basically as little militias trying to fend off and protect whatever semblance they have of humanity left. And so basically the idea was Darkseid would travel to the Batcave. I don't know if it was through time or just using a boom tube, where he would then kill Lois, and then Superman would be in such an emotional frenzy and emotional, he would just be so emotionally distraught that he would be vulnerable. And then that's when Darkseid jumps in, uses the anti-life equation on him, and then Superman becomes a bad guy, and allies himself with Darkseid, and is the reason that humanity and all of Earth was so so much destruction had been wrought upon the Earth was because Superman was directly involved in helping Darkseid do it because he was under the control of the anti-life equation. And that's why he was evil in the nightmare sequence, and that's why he was there to kill Bruce, and that's why he was all that stuff. And so basically then the Flash in that post-apocalyptic reality was also still alive, and that a big part of the second act was going to be him trying to travel through time and how deliberate they were and how hard it actually was for Barry to reach Bruce in that moment in BVS, and how they would be very concerned that Barry might go too far back or he might just get straight up shot into space, almost sounding as if it was going to be the first time he time travels or what have you. But it sounded like a very intense, like high stakes story that would have been very different from the Avengers, for instance, or the Justice League we wound up getting, where they all just, they meet up and fight a villain. Instead, it was going to be, taking us to the future where everything was already done and destroyed, and then, traveling back in time. And I think that would have been very unique and very different as opposed to the standard, structure of them meeting for the first time and fighting and coming together to fight a villain. It would have been very different had they worked out a few of the kinks. But unfortunately, Warner Brothers listened to everybody else and decided to have Zack scrap all of that. He got started on Justice League, obviously had to step away, and then Joss Whedon came in and basically redid 70% of the movie, and it was a mess. And honestly, I feel like if they just let Zack Snyder do his thing and let his vision play out, it could have been pretty incredible, man. As somebody who is a fan of Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, despite their problems, I am fully and have been fully on board for what he was planning to do. But obviously now that Ben has left, it's all just collapsed, and I think it's a shame, because this all sounded amazing and like exactly what I was hoping for out of the DCEU, and now it's never going to happen.
Yeah, so there's two ways to make a comic book movie. You can make a Marvel movie, which plays really safe, and all of that kind of stuff plays very, very safe. Specifically, like the Marvel Phase 2 movies and stuff, Justice League. Those kind of movies that play very, very safe. Even Wonder Woman to a certain degree. The first two acts of Wonder Woman were great. The last act played it way too safe. But anyway,
yeah.
Or you can make an extremely experimental, an extremely dramatic, kind of high emotion superhero movie, which is what I would prefer. That's what I consider the Nolan movies. That's what I consider Infinity War and probably Endgame as well. Yeah. And allowing Zack Snyder to make a dark, gritty superhero movie would have probably saved the DCEU. If Justice League had maybe been delayed a year and Zack Snyder could do everything he wanted to do, I mean, that sounds amazing. Darkseid we watch Darkseid as he takes over the universe. We flash back to Batman versus Superman, see all of the time travel interplay and all of that kind of stuff, and then we see a Batman that fixes the world essentially, as he does with the all of the different wars in the comic books. Batman kind of fixes everything. That sounds incredible.
It was the large scale, that to me the story that he had in mind, I think, was definitely what I was looking forward to, what I was expecting. I'll just never forget how Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman made me feel when Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL's score would kick in. It just had this larger than life feel. That something big was happening. The most iconic superheroes of all time are coming together for the first time on screen to face an inconceivable threat. And
so I think
it hurts, man. It hurts a lot.
Also, like with the Avengers, they were all brought together by Nick Fury, right? So they're kind of passive protagonists in that sense. But if they were all forced into a situation where they had to save the world, there would have been way more dramatic strain on the characters, right? So you have, Flash, who has to, because if he has to run back in time, because if he doesn't, the world will completely end. You have Batman, who has to fight his hardest and try to assemble the team. You have Wonder Woman, who has to, put aside whatever and start fighting. You have these characters that have to do it and have to come together, as opposed to coming together and fighting an evil because they're assembled.
Yeah,
it's just forcing protagonists together is always a good thing. Kind of like an Infinity War, the whole when they're on the Maz ship, and they meet Peter Quill and such. It's forcing protagonists to be together.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it worked in that case really well, and I think Zack Snyder could have absolutely made it work if Warner Brothers just stuck with it. It's like, yes, the numbers for Batman vs Superman were not what they expected. You had a major drop off after the first weekend, and it didn't even crack 800 million. Which is not good for having the two most iconic superheroes known to man being in a movie together for the first time. But what they did was so reactionary that they collapsed their whole cinematic universe.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, now look what happened, right?
God, it's just making me sad, dude.
Yeah, dude, it makes me sad because I've loved the DCEU from day one with Man of Steel. I mean, every reveal, every new announcement, every new photo, every new trailer, just always been there supporting it and loving it up until they announced Ben was out. And for me, that was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
And this certainly didn't help.
No.
Reading through this did not help. Just kind of dumping salt in the wound. But yeah, man. So, in slightly more exciting news for, I don't know, I guess people like me anyway, collectors, this is not really pertaining to Lego, but Hot Toys
Oh man.
just revealed the brand new Thanos and the brand new Mark 85 for Avengers Endgame. And you can see all these on the Hot Toys Facebook page or also
You can just
on their
Google it as
Instagram.
well. It's on there's a bunch of articles written about it
Yeah,
as
people are
well.
posting
About
these
pictures.
everywhere, man. And this is exciting for me for a number of reasons. Those of you guys who don't know, I mean, I have been an avid collector, really since before my channel began. I've always, loved collecting action figures and other collectibles outside of Lego. And I do have a few Hot Toys figures. And I try to jump in when, the opportunity is looking really good. And I try to jump in when it's the perfect time to get a figure. And so what that means is like I've been waiting for these for a long time because, as far back as the 2014 announcement, my friends and I, we all knew that one day Hot Toys was going to make figures for Avengers Infinity War and Avengers, now Endgame. And we knew these figures were going to be phenomenal, man. And so that's why, even though they did a full release of Infinity War figures, they even had a full-on Infinity War Thanos. I knew that one day they were going to reveal this Thanos and this Iron Man and these figures for Endgame, which will likely be the final Hot Toys figures that we get of these characters. And so this is the Thanos that I've been waiting to see from Hot Toys for years, in his full armor, with the full Infinity Gauntlet, with his new double-bladed sword. And so this is all really exciting. I'm going to try to pick these up over the course of the next year with the pre-orders. But what is most exciting for me personally, even more so than getting these figures next year when they ship, is, dude, I have reference. Not only do I now have more reference for Thanos in his armor, but this is really exciting because this was unexpected. Because this suit is the Iron Man Mark 85. This is a full reveal of the Mark 85.
Yes, it is. And really
we have not seen the Mark 85 like this yet. This is a full reveal of every angle of his final suit.
Yeah, everybody. I relied on Ross to piece this together, but I said, Ross, are those the Roman numerals for 85? And Ross just says to me, time jump.
Yep.
This proves it to me. It was a Mark 55 in Infinity War, correct?
50. Yeah.
50. This is 35 iterations above that. Guys, I think the time jump is pretty much confirmed.
Oh, yeah. And like, not only is this our best look at the 85, but this also really does confirm the time jump, because now we have the Mark 85 listed, by an official retailer in the form of Hot Toys. And to me, that confirms that Endgame will absolutely have the time jump of at least a year, 1 to 5 years. So, Black Widow's hairstyle change, the time jump and around now with, several years having passed, I think this post for the Hot Toys Mark 85 all but kind of confirms it, man.
Yeah, man, this is insane.
So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. And this is exciting because, like I said, I've got plenty of reference now. And
yeah, dude, that's awesome. You even have like internal reference if you want to make the chest plate removable.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that far, but this is great, man. I now have full reference to make the Mark 85. Now, listen, this doesn't mean I'll be able to make all these figures by Endgame. These pictures are coming out way too late in the game. Use the pun. But I'm going to do my best to make the best figures that I can over the course of 2019 to celebrate the culmination of the Infinity Saga. And I really want to do my best on these figures. So rushing out any set of figures, in 26 days doesn't sound like a good idea to me, because I want to make the figures the best that I can. And I don't know if I'm still going to do like a full-blown Infinity War or Endgame showcase. I might do it in parts, but I do know that reference is finally starting to come out now with the figures, and that makes my life a lot easier. And I know that this week, especially, there are a lot of new releases happening, namely also the Marvel Legends figurines that are coming out, the 6-inch figures. Are they 6-inch? I don't know. I forget. I collect them and I don't even know how big they are. I think they're like 6 or 7 inches. But either way, there's going to be a Hawkeye figure. And a lot of people have been saying, use that as reference. But it's like the problem is with Hasbro figures, they often don't color a lot of sections. And so it's very difficult to tell and get a really good gauge on the color scheme for Hawkeye and like what different shades of gray and, what needs to go where. And unfortunately, Marvel Legends figures aren't overly great for reference, which is why I really technically still don't have enough reference for Hawkeye. But like I said, either way, I'm going to do my best to make these figures and put my all into them so that they really matter. I think it'll be great. But yeah, Tate.
All right, so
Hot Toys Endgame figures.
Finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, LJ, Silas, and others, we have the Lego news. Woohoo!
Yeah, we save all the big stuff for the end so we can talk about.
Yeah, we save all the big stuff so we can talk about it for ludicrous amounts of time. But let's start with the Batman set. So first off, we have this Mr. Freeze one. I don't know the names. I don't have the names pulled up, and I don't even think the names are there yet. But we have the Mr. Freeze one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Of course, the first thing you notice with Mr. Freeze is the head. He's got a brand new print, and he's got the new Mysterio dome, which is really exciting because that looks phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean, the printing on him looks really great. I love the new little vehicle. Looks like those new missiles have like some new pieces on the ends.
Yeah. Yeah, those are new little bullet caps there.
Right. Yeah, dude. And the new Robin, I forget which Robin that is. I don't know if it's like...
This is 100% Damian Wayne.
He's the one that oh, right, because the short... Yeah, that is Damian Wayne. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah.
The new Batman torso print looks great. I mean,
no leg printing.
A really solid set.
It's just a bummer, in my opinion. The lack of
the fact that we haven't been getting more double molded boots with Batman figures is a bit of a shame.
Yeah. I mean, double molded boots were the answer to lack of leg printing, right? And then they just said, you know what? No, we're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, they've been a lot more selective about where they place double molded boots than I would like. It's kind of a shame that we're now in 2019 and we've got Batman figures that aren't getting double molded boots.
Yeah.
But that set looks really great.
And then we have...
I don't know how much it'll go for, but probably it looks like a $30 set hard.
For sure.
Maybe
and we have
25.
The Batmobile, which looks amazing.
Oh man,
Batmobile's going for $40, I believe. But oh my god, this
inspired
really
by the Burton Batmobile. Oh man.
Oh my god.
You can just hear the theme. Oh man, yeah, I love this. I am absolutely getting this. It is a no-brainer, no question. I mean, the build looks phenomenal.
The build's
simple
insane.
But phenomenal. I mean, I love the tires. I love everything about the Batmobile. I mean, that is just like a perfect Batmobile set. I love that.
It is a perfect Batmobile set, absolutely.
The new Batman accessories are a little bit more questionable, I think. Bat shields that he's got are a little weird.
Yeah, they've been including those since I think 2 years ago. They just started putting like a bunch of random accessories in with these kind of sets, and
you don't need those, but I get they're probably good for kids, no doubt.
Yeah.
What I do like is the change to the batarangs. I do kind of like that they switched over to the bars, and that Batman can now actually hold the batarangs properly now.
So they have both kinds in this set specifically.
Do they?
Yeah, they have the classic batarangs.
Oh, that's right. I see it there on the left now. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Golden Light says figures are lackluster. I agree. Yeah, I don't understand why they just throw a pair of gray black boots on Batman and it saves him.
The figures, they definitely don't do anything for me either. I mean, they're not groundbreaking in any way. The designs aren't that fantastic. They're just kind of there.
But you know what figure is groundbreaking? The freaking Commissioner Gordon looks insane.
Yeah, man. So the Batwing and the Riddler, whatever, looks great. This set looks awesome. I think it's going for like $50, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Probably 60 because it has 3 vehicles, but 56.
Yeah. Now the first thing we have to acknowledge about this set, if you ask me, is the random and abrupt inclusion of the only other Justice League member in these sets. Shazam is just randomly tossed in with this set out of nowhere.
It's just
in this whole lot, right? It's just for the movie. I just love how obvious it is that clearly Lego was just like, all right, well, we can't do Shazam sets. We need to throw in a comic book version of him somewhere. Do we have any place for him? Well, we're doing some Batman sets. Great, put him in there. Throw him in.
This
I love
Shazam,
it.
the Shazam head, wasn't that used for a Star Wars, like a Lego Star Wars thing?
I don't know,
The
dude.
electricity phase, and then wasn't the torso? Isn't this the same torso from the Comic Con one?
I have no idea.
I don't know, but why didn't they put the boots from what figure was it? It came in the Thanos set that came out in like 2015. It was gold boots. Why didn't they give him those? They already have that. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Jack 14. Yeah, it is the same head from Jack 14.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Jack 14 too, but I didn't say because I don't know. I mean, because that head was printed back in like 2013.
Exactly.
I don't think that's still in the production lines.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Jack 14 Lego head.
I think no, I can tell. I think it's similar, but I don't think it's the same.
It's the same. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, it's the same. I have
That's
them pulled
crazy.
up side by side.
So they recycled the design and just started printing it again. That's nuts.
Except his reverse side of the head has blue eyes. So
yeah, so it
perhaps,
is a little different.
So they probably did black eyes on the back. That's just so strange, Lego.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think the new Commissioner Gordon. I think the eyebrows are a little wonky, but other than that, that is the best Commissioner Gordon figure that we've ever had.
It's not the same, by the way. I just zoomed in again.
Yeah, it's really not. I'm pretty sure that's a new Shazam.
But it's very similar, strikingly
Sure. Yeah.
so.
The Riddler's fine. I'm not really digging the lime green. I always kind of prefer normal green. I got that new Batman again. Helicopter apparently is a rehash of like recent Robin helicopter from another set that
From the old Batcave, from the 60s Batcave.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So it's a rehash of the '60s Batcave Robin helicopter, but now just in green with question mark sticker. With the question mark sticker on the side of like the
For sure.
the back edge
car,
there.
The police car looks surprisingly good. It's a surprisingly good build.
Yeah, dude. That is a nice police car. Like I'm actually looking forward to that. That's arguably the best vehicle in the set.
Yeah, man.
Because I mean, I think that the new Batwing is really cool. Very tight, very compact. I mean, personally, I like all three builds.
Yeah.
Even though the Riddler one is just a rehash, I think the safe is also really nice.
The safe is nice. There's a Two-Face Chase set from 2012 that has a really nice safe too, and I'm getting really big vibes from that.
So I mean, I do personally. I plan on picking these sets up.
Really?
Yeah, man. Because honestly, these are the best Batman sets. Like, even though the minifigures aren't fantastic, I would have to say and argue that these are the best Batman sets that we've had in years.
Yeah, I like the Batman submarine set with the Aquaman and Ocean Master. I think that's a pretty good build and set overall.
Yeah, I actually still have that in my closet unbuilt.
Okay, cool.
But I also have the Poison Ivy mech, which I put together. But I mean,
I don't like that.
Like those two sets and these have been some of the best Batman sets in a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed though that they discontinued the Justice League, the DC Superheroes wave.
From Justice League.
Yeah, because they did a really good wave when they introduced Cheetah and Killer Frost, and that was like the last hurrah for Justice League. That was a good wave.
Yeah.
Lack of blade printing though, just sucks.
And of course, the final big set is the Batcave Clayface Invasion, our fourth Batcave, ladies and gentlemen. This is
it's just the 2012 one with clay and mud on it. This is so annoying. I mean, like, look, they include these new pieces throughout, like, the Batman changing station, and they just include a lot of new pieces, a lot of new elements. But I want to show you guys something. Here is the 2012 one. I'm going to put them side by side next to each other. Look how the elements of both of them are identical in terms of, like, structures and such.
I mean, I can kind of see it. I think they're different enough, though.
It's just annoying that, like, okay, look, like, the back computer with the driveway area, the same.
Yeah.
The changing station with the red phone and the hatch, like, functionality with the drop-down, the same. They both have, like, little jail cells with little alarm things, They both have a vehicle that belongs in a cave. You know, they have the Bane's drill in the old one, and they have this new, like, Batman.
But honestly, dude, like Silas is saying, I think this one is better.
This one is better, absolutely, but it's also going to be far more expensive. So
yeah, how much is it going to be? Do we know?
I think it's going to be $100, and where the old one was, I think, 60. I want to say. Golden Light Pictures. Golden Light.
I think the old one was like 70 or 80, actually.
Oh, really?
I think. Don't quote me on that.
For sure. Golden Light says, thoughts on Clayface. This Clayface looks alright, but the Clayface from the Lego Batman movie was amazing, in my opinion.
Wait, what did you say? You totally cut out there for that whole line.
Oh, I said that the Clayface from the Lego Batman movie, the one that came in its own set, was really great. Way better than this one, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
This is a nice, dumbed down, like, discount version of that, I think. That it's passable. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But the Rebirth Two-Face, I hate him in the comics and I hate him here. He just doesn't.
I have a really random request of Lego that I'm sure they'll never do. I would love for them to make plasmas.
They'll never do that.
Basically just like purple Clayface.
They'll never do that.
That would be so cool, though.
It would be awesome.
But yeah, man, I mean, as somebody who never got the '06 Batcave, I'm not huge on the 60s series, so I didn't get the big giant, collectors 1960s Batcave. I didn't get I have the 2012 one, but in Ziploc bags. I never built it, and honestly, it looks like shit, so I don't really care. But this one, on the other hand, I mean, is passable enough to where I think I'll definitely pick it up. I don't know if I'm going to rush into getting any of these sets to review them or anything like that, but I mean, just as a pure Batman fan, just purely as a Batman fan, I think that these are worth getting. But, maybe if you can get a deal, obviously. I don't think I would tell anyone to go and just rush into buying overpriced sets.
Yeah.
But, keeping an eye out on... I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out on these sets, and I'm probably going to pick them up, as soon as possible after they release. But I gotta say, man, the new Catwoman minifigure is phenomenal. I mean, the new Two-Face is disappointing. The Bruce Wayne is fine. Recycling that. It looks like Lego's really enjoying recycling their new head that they printed for Kaz from Star Wars Resistance, because they've now used that head for Happy Hogan for Spider-Man Far From Home, and now they're using it on Bruce Wayne too. So I mean, that looks fine. Batwoman is back. That's a fantastic minifigure, so no problems there.
Is awesome with the dual molded hair there. Awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the minifigures in this set are really solid. Again, just aside from the Two-Face, I think the hairpiece on Two-Face is very disappointing.
Yeah.
And I love all the accessories and that little like bat tank. That looks awesome.
The little bat tank's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah,
that looks like a really solid little build. The one problem I have with the main like computer area, like the top portion, I really wish they would have included 2 seats instead of just one.
For sure.
Like that's what made the OG Batcave so great. That particular part of the set is because it's like, you would always be able to have both Batman and Robin and Alfred and all of them up there, strategizing and planning and figuring things out. That's what made that whole portion fun, and to condense that to only 1 seat for Bruce, I think is stupid. Mm-hmm. And hopefully there's space for a second and it can be an easy mod, because honestly, I feel like just a small little change to that area like that could actually really enhance the set for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise it looks like a pretty solid set and a pretty solid line, despite a few disappointing elements with the minifigures. These are definitely, if you ask me, a step in the right direction for Lego Batman.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there have been so many Batman sets recently that have been so under. Like, take that Batman set with, like, I don't know, like the Court of Owls, for instance. That was lame. Just those random sets that they just toss in like that are just so boring and lame, that have no substance or excitement, like these finally do again. Again, I think it's just this is really good for Lego Batman.
Yeah. So So out of our 5 Batcaves that we have, I would reckon that this is the third best one. The first being the 60s Batcave, and the first being the 2006 Batcave. And the only reason I love the 2006 Batcave so much is because of the little bat boat that comes in that set is phenomenal.
Love that bat boat, man.
The bat boat in that set is probably the best Lego vehicle Lego has ever made. I mean,
holy crap! What a statement!
I am like when it comes to like small vehicles like that. Oh my god, it looks like a mock, dude. The little Batboat in that set is so incredible.
Things were different back then.
It looks like a mock. It doesn't have play features. It just
I'm
looks
telling you,
really
Tate,
good.
one day I might just like eat it and just drop $300 and just grab it off of eBay, because it makes you wonder, man. Seeing a set like this, will we ever have a Batcave that is as good?
Yeah, and like there weren't printed parts. There were lots of studs exposed. There were lots of burps, but it was a different time, man. And that Batboat. Oh my god, I just love that Batboat, dude. I don't know, that Batboat is just incredible.
Would you happen to have a picture of it on you? Because
I'm putting the Batboat on screen. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to the price points like you guys. I mean, having to stomach some of these more premium price ranges that are being put on sets like these is not easy. But I mean, they look good. They look good enough to where I'm genuinely interested.
Yes.
I mean, like, as soon as these sets come out, I am absolutely going for the first 3. I don't know how quick I will be to jump on the Batcave, but man, the first 3, without a doubt.
I'm trying to pull a picture of the Batboat right now. I can only find like the Batcave set all together, so I'm just gonna put that on the screen right now. But
that set had so much to offer in it.
Honestly,
how much was the original Batcave? Do you remember?
I think it was $100. I'm gonna look it up.
Man, $100 well spent. You got the full package.
Okay, look at this boat, dude. Look at the boat.
Look at the boat.
The boat, and then you have the Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze only came in this set. I mean, that boat is incredible. That is one of the best Lego builds they've ever done. You have the zip line too. That was, I think, the first instance of the zip line.
Oh man, I've never seen that. Oh wait, I think I have seen that set in person, but like only once. All the memories of like Forest Fire 101 just all came from this set.
It was $90 new.
Crazy.
$90, and this you get all of this.
Inflation, man.
Jeez. Look at this set, dude. Oh my god, how fun is that?
You can just buy this set and never need to buy another Lego Batman set ever again.
Honestly.
Oh my god. But yeah, Tate, so shifting from Lego Batman toward other stuff, like tomorrow is going to be a big day, which I'm honestly not ready for. Tomorrow is the official street date for the Avengers Endgame sets and the Lego Star Wars 20th anniversary sets. They are being put on the shelves officially tomorrow. And if they're not, talk to the employees and have them pull them from the back, because tomorrow is the official release date. I'm going to be heading to Target bright and early to get the entire wave and get started on the reviews, beginning with the Iron Man Hall of Armor. And today I'm going to be getting my setup ready to go again. I'm going to be writing out some skits and gearing up for a week of reviewing sets, because it is going to be an intense production week of just cranking out video after video. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to do what I did for Infinity War and just stick to it every single day, because so many people have already seen the Endgame sets, to where it's not like this big new and exciting thing. I think everybody knows what they look like and knows what to expect. But being able to cover them in person is still going to be exciting, kind of doing it more so at my own pace this time, but at least getting the big sets out first, like the Hall of Armor, the Avengers compound, and the ones that are really worth the discussion, the Quinjet. But I might, hold off on like the smaller sets like the War Machine Buster or what have you. All of them have a lot of discussion points and things to talk about, obviously. But yeah, man, it's going to be intense starting tomorrow. And yeah, as for the 20th anniversary Lego Star Wars sets, I think I'll review like the Imperial dropship, the new ATRT, and like,
or no?
No, I'm not buying that Slave One. No way. $120. No way.
It's pretty good build. It's just a mini UCS one.
Yeah, no, but I can't. Because I have the UCS version. I still have the UCS version and the 2010 version. I don't need that set at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get Zuckus online one day if I really care.
For sure.
Um,
The Zuck. We finally get the
yeah,
Zuck.
yeah, man, this sucks. Mark Zuckerberg finally showing up.
Finally, it's about time.
And yeah, I'm not ready for this at all, man. Like, it's gonna be nuts. I'm gonna try to write out some skits today so I can at least, just be ready to go. But
Yeah, man.
yeah,
So,
man.
to wrap up Lego news, we actually have to talk about some leaks. So, the entire Lego catalog for May, I believe it's coming out. It's either May or June. It's the summer catalog, right? The entire thing got leaked, except for the Harry Potter stuff. The entire thing got leaked. So I can't show you guys any of the pictures because I don't want to get in trouble with Lego or anybody like that. But Paul Seeley 4 on Instagram, huge shout out to him. He has posted everything on the catalog. So I'm just going to go through his story right now and just kind of describe to you guys what I'm seeing.
I personally haven't seen it, so I'm listening to, man.
Oh man, okay. I'm gonna send this to you then, Ross.
Okay.
It's a private account. I don't know if you follow him.
Nope, I don't. So
Well, so we have a little spaceship ride promo set. It's a Lego idea set. We have a bunch of slam spin jitsu guys. Now the new Ninjago stuff looks really awesome with the whole fire and ice themes we have. There's these snake fire people. There's this snake build that looks really awesome. There's a new ice helicopter. Looks like Destiny's Bounty, but a truck. I mean, these sets are just really crazy looking. You have a big
man, it really is like the
samurai.
whole catalog, isn't it?
It is the whole catalog. You have new space for new city space sets. Which let's hope those are good because I'm all over that. I mean, I think they need to bring back another space theme. We have new fire sets. We have a new park set. A people pack.
Something else that's noticeably absent, I think, from this mag. No other Marvel sets and no other Endgame sets.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like Civil War, for instance. I mean that this is obviously how it's Civil War. I think was a fluke when they actually released an additional set. But yeah, no Endgame additional sets coming out in the fall.
An Empire State Building architecture set that looks awesome.
I thought that would have been made by now.
Yeah, right.
That does look good. Wow.
The Friends stuff looks really good.
We know you love Lego Friends, Tate.
I know. I collect all of it. But yeah, I mean, this stuff is nuts. Yeah, Paul Seeley 4 on Instagram. I'll put his @ in chat right now. Nino Leaks as well. He has some stuff.
Oh yeah, that's actually the page that I've been using.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing really too new there in the way of like Star Wars or Marvel or DC. So, I can't say like this magazine leak has me overly excited. But I mean, I imagine for fans of all the other themes, this has got to be pretty great.
Yeah. So so they did make the Empire State Building. I didn't think they did. But anyway.
Yeah. So this must be like a version 2.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing that I'm most looking forward to are the Harry Potter sets. Those look, the sound of them and like the leaks we have so far, the Buckbeak leak, and the Hagrid hut leak, and the Watchtower, the Hogwarts clock tower leaks. Those look incredible. They sound incredible. I'm a sucker for Harry Potter. I'm a sucker for the figures and the molds. My current board game that I'm working on is fantasy themed, so I can use all of those wizards and warlocks and whatnot. Well, there's no warlocks in Harry Potter's, but I can use all those wizard pieces for my fantasy game, which is great. So really looking forward to the Harry Potter stuff. And the inclusion of the Stag Patronus, Harry's Patronus, as a full mold pretty much confirms that we're going to be getting a stag molded animal in upcoming city themes or upcoming anythings. we have a stag mold now.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Stags isn't like deer.
Oh. I don't know why I thought we were still talking about.
No. So Harry Potter's Patronus, which is like a spirit animal, essentially, is a buck, is a stag.
Yeah.
And we're getting a new stag mold, but it's in blue. It's in like the shiny blue, the shimmery blue with the glitter.
Right.
Because it's supposed to represent his spirit animal. But that confirms that we're going to be getting a stag in the future. A like normal stag. Which is great.
So we can get a set that promotes hunting.
There you go. VTT says, Advent calendar for Harry Potter may be coming. It is rumored. I hope. That'll be really cool. I've never bought a Lego Advent calendar, but I'd buy a Harry Potter one.
Dude, Advent calendars were great for the first couple of years, and then... Alright, this is just a chore, having to open this thing up every day. It honestly was. I don't think I finished my last one from like 2016 or 17.
The Star Wars ones look like they've really dipped in quality.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't even care. I think I've about had it with the Advent calendars. They're just not my thing anymore. Maybe I'll pick it up again in a few years.
Guys, the hack for Advent calendars is to get them the year after the first year because they go like half the price.
Yeah.
That's my strategy if I'm ever gonna buy Star Wars or City Advent calendars.
Advent calendars used to sell out too.
Did that?
And now they don't.
Well, yeah, because the figures are trash. Like the Star Wars figures for last year.
I think that's pretty telling. That Lego needs to up their game with the Advent calendars.
Yeah, I think Lego takes a lot of shortcuts with their promo stuff now, specifically. Like in 2010 and such, they had that Santa suit Vader, and they had the Snowman R2-D2. And like last year, we got BB-8 with a Santa hat that we've seen 100 times.
Yeah, like that's really lame.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man. One last thing for any of you guys, the minority group, maybe like two of you, one of you even, who might be aware of Telltale's The Walking Dead series.
Right.
Video game storytelling narrative-based series that began in 2012 following the story of Clementine and Lee Everett as they traverse the new world following the zombie apocalypse. And there are constant efforts to survive in crazy circumstances. Was told in an incredibly, well-structured and an emotional way that I've been so attached to Clementine and these characters more so than the show. I am of a very weird minority group where I was up to date with this video game series over the actual show. So I've been more invested in this game than the actual show by a long shot. I only ever saw season 1 of The Walking Dead and like the actual show, and then I saw like the season 7 premiere because everybody was so curious who died, and then that was that. Otherwise, I never really cared for the actual show, and this has always been, my entry into the franchise. This has always meant a lot to me, and for Telltale as a company to collapse and fold last year, that was really hard to watch, from an outside perspective. I can't even imagine how hard it must have been for all those people that lost their jobs so suddenly. Unfortunately, I know that feels, and it's not fun. But I'm glad that Skybound Games came in and at least picked up the series to finish off the last 2 episodes because they were good. Nothing has really ever quite reached the same standard as the very first season when it was all so new and exciting. But thankfully, I think Clementine and her whole story was wrapped up in a satisfactory way to where, you have a nice bookend on the series now. And I really am glad they got to do that because after following this series for 7 years, I just randomly came upon it in 2012. I clicked on the thumbnail. I was like, what is this? Thought it was interesting. And I was just attached to the series ever since, always, being right there and ready to go whenever a new episode came out. And for it to finally be over and Clementine's story to finally be done, it's kind of nice, to just have that bookend and just kind of put it on the shelf and have it always be there. Maybe one day I'll make a Clementine figure, but man, what a story. Anybody who doesn't, who isn't familiar, any Walking Dead fans out there, you may watch the show, but you never heard of the game. I implore you to either watch, get started on watching a playthrough from your favorite commentator or play it yourself because it is a fantastic story that, does vary based on how you play to a good extent. choice-based narrative, so you get to decide what you say and who lives and who dies.
Yeah, so I was never a huge fan of Telltale games, but I played Walking Dead 2012, and that game is phenomenal. If you're only going to play one Telltale game, play that one. It's the best Telltale game they've ever released.
Yeah, and I mean, as for the other Telltale games that were also super great, like, it's really hard because I was also very invested in their new Batman series. I was so excited to see where that was going to go. They were starting at the very beginning of Batman's story, and they really had his entire life at their disposal to play with. But they never got to, that never came to fruition. Unfortunately, that was the end of that. I heard Wolf Among Us was also very good. Guardians was okay, but unfortunately, all of that is over and canceled now. And I'm just glad The Walking Dead made it out with an ending, because Clementine was such a fantastic character that she, I think it was deserved, and I think it was handled pretty well. It was good. It wasn't like incredible, but it was good. It did it. They made it to the end. They got there. And I think it was good. So anyway.
Well, that's pretty much all of our topics for today.
Yes, sir.
I would like to add that we are also streaming on Twitch. So if Twitch is your preferred platform, we are streaming on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
As well as YouTube.
We'll try to put the links to the Twitch page, at least in the description. I'll try to mention it next time when I post the links to the stream on Twitter and Instagram. And I really appreciate you guys who do click the links, because I know it takes you only to the channel, and then you kind of have to click on the thumbnail from there. So I appreciate you kind of like putting in the extra click there, because unfortunately we don't actually get the link until we start the stream. So we just link to the channel so that we are not like, trying to link out the stream as we're starting the stream. So,
but thank you guys for coming along for the ride. I mean, it's been lots of fun. This is our 4th podcast, including the test, episode 3. And there's a lot of growing to do, but we're glad we can provide what we are providing and keep increasing the quality as we go along. But,
absolutely.
This has been lots of fun so far. So
all that clicking is so much work. I know. I still appreciate it, man. Just that extra click, because I know, like, I certainly like to be directly to stuff and not have to look for anything. So anyway, That's gonna do it. We got one more live podcast coming up this, next Saturday, same time, and then after that, it will be a pre-recorded Star Wars podcast, because I will be away at Star Wars Celebration Chicago. So I hope we'll see you guys there. Thank you for sticking around with us for however long you've been here. It means a lot joining in on the discussion, and I have been kind of checking out the chat, and I have been watching, even though I'm really bad at responding. So anyway, that's gonna do it.
All right, thanks everybody. I hope you all have a great day.
Take care.